Hello and welcome to another episode of Is That Canon?
Is
The
it?
podcast where we people talk about things that we like that have been brought into media from comic books. How's
Yes.
everybody doing?
I am not fat.
I'm
pretty
sore, but I have a painkiller inside of me.
Woo!
I'm old. I'm starting to go over the hill soon, guys.
Yeah,
A couple of weeks away.
the Over the Hill podcast.
Over the Hill podcast. Wait for it.
How's your week been? Take apart from that.
Well, I was at I-68 over the weekend in the UK, in Zombie 68 in Birmingham. So that was good crack. It was nice to be out on a convention for the first time in like a couple of years, being incubated like the rest. And I got to see lots of stuff. I got to see more indie devs as well, which I absolutely love. I love seeing like people putting their heart and soul in building new games. And I got to play a really interesting game called Cabby. And I was asking them, are they going to be throwing this out on Steam? Is there anything else? They're like, no, we just want to just show it off. But I was like, but I want it now. So I went through a little dilemma there. Ran into people that I haven't seen in years. That was great. Got off, had some drinks, got to see lots of shows. Just had a really good time just to be in human again. That's what I did. What was your week like, Brian?
I was not too bad. Pretty cool and calm. Do you know what I did actually? Right, that I never thought I'd do again.
Oh
is
no.
I
I
watched
told
the
you
first
you need
half.
to give up, didn't I?
No, rewatched the first half of The Defenders. You remember the like?
That's a show that I
Yeah,
intend
that's a
to never
show.
watch again.
Yeah.
That's I wouldn't mind. Like I was only thinking about dipping into those shows soon. You know, getting a re-dip
But-
into the war. It's been a few
but it-
years.
If you had a choice, like I mean, if there was a scale of which one you'd start with, you'd probably go like
It's like
Jessica Jones
fourth
or
from the bottom.
Daredevil. Yeah, Defenders is for most people. Do you know what? I actually think like not constantly watching Netflix shows made it feel a bit better.
Yes.
Like I really enjoyed it
Yeah.
because they're all kind of similar. So by the time you get to the Defenders, you're there like, yeah, okay. But they do some cool things. Like they do this thing where like you know when Matt Murdock shows up, it's all red, and when Jessica shows up, it's all purple.
Yeah.
So they've all got their colors. But when they come together, the first scene deliberately, it's like everything is just white, like a prism, because all the
Yeah.
colors have come
I
together.
never
You know,
thought
they
of
do
that.
a couple of things like that. They're like, actually, that's kind of clever.
They
I
always give
didn't
nice
notice the
tells
first
for
time.
that, though. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And I was reading. I've started reading the more proof that the X-Men are coming to the MCU. They
Oh my God!
jumped up-
Stop! I'm taking this off. Is it getting hot in here? Is it just
They-
the X-Men rumors? Go on.
They chucked X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine up early on Marvel Unlimited.
Now, why would
like-
you do that to me?
They want people to be reading the new X-Men stuff. I mean, it's
Listen.
great.
Yeah.
So like,
So like usually it's a 6 month period, isn't it?
yeah, and this is
And
just
these are
just
just
done.
out.
Yeah, and
There's
they're
always a
game
problem.
changer comics. They're like, you know, changing the status quo. You know, like a big crossover jobby.
Okay.
It isn't a big crossover jobby, but it
Good
changes.
time to get into modern X-Men comics.
I've said it before. I will say it again. Go back and start with House of X Powers of 10, Hoxpox as it's called, because it's a deliberate jumping on point where they just basically a franchise-wide reboot for the X-Men, but it's like it's in continuity. They're not erasing everything, but like this is a new start. We've got this island. We're all together, like we're being led by Magneto and Charles Xavier and Emma and Apocalypse.
Oh
Like
my
every
God.
mutant leader is working together, and the whole world better be
No.
scared. That's the
Listen.
basic.
Oh my God! The tin hat. You can't do this to me,
Oh.
Brian.
Yeah,
And the
Apocalypse.
fact that the X-Men comics are selling gangbusters. X-Men are outselling the Avengers, who have this huge film franchise at the moment.
They
Like-
know we're just hungry for it. They know.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I was a
Disgusting.
massive X-Men fanboy as a kid, but I went off it because everyone
my
did
God.
because they were treated badly, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But
God,
right
like,
back there now.
listen, right? If we go back just to the movies, we're just talking about just Cyclops alone, okay? I hear you. I'm emotionally damaged too, but I even stood by the whole Phoenix situation, okay? I was there, okay?
I've even watched New Mutants. That's how
I
much
watched
I've
New
done.
Oh,
with it.
yeah,
I
how-
watched
is
New
that-
Mutants
is that
3
terrible? I
times.
don't-
It's
Is
an
that-
okay kind of terrible, I guess. But give it a chance.
They race swapped Celia Reyes and made her a villain.
Okay,
Like I
that's
said,
that's a weird
give it a
choice.
chance. Like I said, I'm there for them.
Yeah.
I
There are
just-
bits like I liked Maisie Williams in it. Is that her name? The girl from
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
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 she was
yeah.
cool in it.
She was
And I
very
liked
good in
it.
it.
She's been good in everything she's been in.
Yeah,
And
and
She
when
doesn't.
they
She doesn't fall into the whole like you associate her with Game of Thrones, because I've seen a couple of things or shows where you kind of like, oh yeah, you can pin her that way, but like she really takes on her own character. To be fair.
yeah, no, I bought her as Rain. I bought her as Werewolf Girl, like,
Yeah.
and they make Ilyana really racist as well.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a weird one.
It's
I
a
didn't
straight.
need, but by the end of the highlight of the film, I assume no one cares about New Mutant spoilers.
I'm going to tell you this
Okay,
now.
hold on,
Nobody
lads.
cares.
Okay,
It's
all right.
been It's been a few years.
At the end of the by the end of
Hasn't
the
really.
movie, like
It's not been that long.
Has
she's fighting like the famous demon bear from the big New Mutants arc, and she gets her soul armor, and
Yeah.
Lockheed shows up, and I'm like, yes, Lockheed, woohoo! Because like, but why does Lockheed show up with Ilyana and not Shadowcat like Kate Pryde? She's been in loads of films. That's where Lockheed should show up.
2020.
Anyway,
You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
waste Kitty Pryde on the New Mutants movie.
Well,
Is the reason. she's a bankable character.
Yeah.
she is.
yeah.
I was only
But-
thinking about her the other day about the alternative ending in Days of Future Past, where Rogue comes in and she's like, "Oh, you can't save him. He's already gone." All this stuff. It's weird. I have to find that clip anyway. Go on. That was Aiden's week. We didn't talk about his.
yeah, hey,
My week has been deadly. I had my first gig back since COVID started.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
For anyone who doesn't know, I play drums in a band called Just Another Band. And we've been sort of getting our rust off, getting ready for getting ready to
Getting
get
your
back
rust
gigging.
off.
And I got a call on Saturday from a local pub, and they're like, "Our band cancelled. Are you just ready to play? Can you just do a gig in 4 hours?" And I was like, "Yes,
Hey,
yes,
toss
we can."
yourself together. Let's out the door.
I had a great night. I'm so happy.
Did anyone pay for your
apart
points?
Apart from that, I'm on episode 927 of One Piece. It continues to be incredible.
Oh my god. and so the saga continues.
A new saga. We're on to a new saga.
Well,
They're in
new
the land
saga.
of Wano. They're in the land of Wano, which is fantasy feudal Japan, and they've changed. Everybody gets samurai like clothing and everything. It's a real cool aesthetic arc, and they're fighting a guy who can become the dragon from Dragon Ball Z.
I like it.
It's
Uh,
excellent.
is it the Shonen? Like, is that a direct reference across the franchises type of thing? Like,
I think he's very specifically just Shenron but blue.
fair enough.
but blue.
Yeah, Oda, the writer for One Piece, is pretty liberal with using real life people and characters from other shows as inspiration for stuff. Like all the admirals for the navy, who are like the lawful bad guys, they're all based on old Japanese actors, and like a lot of the other pirates, there's a guy that looks like David Bowie. There's a guy that looks like
That's awesome.
What's his name? From the drummer for Slipknot, the old drummer Joe Jordison.
Oh yeah.
He has this the eye mask markings on around his eyes and stuff. Yeah, but there's like, if you look online, you'll find sheets of like every character that's based on everybody, and there's lots and lots of them. It's really cool.
Oh my god. I still want to have a look into it, but I don't know if I can commit to how many episodes altogether.
It's so many. There's 1,016 at the moment.
Exactly. I don't know. Like
it's
I'm
probably
trying.
it's probably 4 or 5 years left.
I have a lot of games to finish, man. Like I don't know if I
Oh, I
can take on something
understand.
else. You know, like I don't
So
know,
much-
man. I don't know if I can take that
So
commitment.
so much stuff is on hold because of One Piece at the moment.
Exactly.
It used to be great. I'm pretty good at like being able to play like a lot of games and like watch stuff. But once I got to like episode 19 and I ran out of dubbed One Piece, and I'm now on to the Japanese, and like I have to be watching it, and so everything's on hold.
Oh my god.
But,
Well, you know, the only thing I'm living for right now is all of this Marvel slipping out. Ugh.
There's a lot
yeah,
of
I
good
do,
Marvel.
I do love that feeling on a Wednesday morning of like, right, gonna
Waking
go
up
get
on a
lunch.
Wednesday morning and
Gonna
feeling
watch
like a
some
new
Monday
Saturday
night.
morning to an adult. That's what it feels like.
It does.
Because you're
Does,
working
yeah.
from home as well. If you're doing that these days still. And you're like,
Yep.
okay, like, I know, like, X is on this morning. I'm going to get up at, like, at whatever time because it drops at 8 a.m. Then I'm ready for work for night because I know it's only a half hour of me, like, watching it, eating breakfast, gushing over the situation, scratching my arse, and then going online. Cool.
I always do the get up, log on to work, get my coffee, and then get to lunchtime, make a good lunch, and then sit down with One Piece at lunchtime.
Yeah, that's
Or
all.
One Piece, Moon
Yeah.
One Piece is
Yeah.
on my brain.
Whatever Wednesday program, I watch it on lunchtime. Like half
Yeah.
12, I go in, watch it. Like
That's what we do
have
here
fun.
is get up early,
So-
get our breakfast out of the way. He has to wait for
We-
lunchtime, then we hop on.
We missed last week, so we have 2 episodes of Moon Knight to talk about.
Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. Should we scream spoilers in case anyone starts crying?
Yeah, go
Look-
watch Moon Knight if you have episode
If you
3
haven't
and
watched
4.
it right
Yeah.
now,
Episode
and
4 is the big episode.
you
like,
have no idea,
ev-
okay?
Every Marvel show has the big episode. That was this one, so we're going to spoil all of it.
All of it. Every last drop. You have been warned. You have been warned. Because I'm nice, I gave you twice. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll start with episode 3. We got a look into the world of the Egyptian gods.
Oh my god, did we ever?
I just feel about episode 3.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought like I loved the interaction with Khonshu. I loved the interaction between Mark and Steven. I loved that Jake is
Steven.
fucking shit up. So sorry.
They just don't know.
We're on
Yeah.
the internet. Leave the swearing to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Fuck's
But,
big
like-
big fan of I
Yeah.
come
Fluck,
through with a knife in the
fluck.
guy's face.
give him a
It's
knife in
Irish.
the hand. Like,
He said Irish or fluck. It's wet. And you're gone.
yeah, fluck. I say
Fluck.
row fluck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uterocha.
y-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eat
hook
that.
throat.
Anyway, go
But yeah,
on.
I loved episode 3. I thought we know how star charts work. We know what the stars have been like for the last 3,000 years. So Khonshu really sacrificed himself for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
story's got a story. So
I think that particular scene creates a massive plot hole.
Go on.
Okay, that took maybe 70 seconds for them to reverse the skies back the way it was. And in that 70 seconds, the gods managed to completely entrap Khonshu. So, when this new god gets free, it only has 70 seconds before it gets trapped again.
yeah, is like
I'll have
they've
to,
never.
like, but in fairness, we didn't know what was happening beforehand when they made the call to say we're gonna have to entomb him and start this whole process. We didn't see that. Assumptions, people, could be revealed in the 5th episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Go on. Sorry, I'm not gonna.
They need. I think you're right though. They probably should make a point, or at least show us that Amit is way more powerful than Khonshu in some way.
Yes.
In some
Yeah.
But I'm
sort.
just like, yeah, that was my one. It's like, well, they stopped Khonshu like instantly. What can they not do that to Amit? But we'll see. That's the thing that they have. So far, anytime the show creates like a plot hole, they fix it pretty quickly.
It's nice
Which is something
though.
I'm pretty.
They are listening
appreciate.
to the community. You know I'm shouting at you there, Feige.
Hey man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Watch yourself.
I had one major issue with this episode.
Go
I've
on.
talked about this before. I did not like the fact that they made the Egyptian gods and Khonshu definitely real.
But did they?
And then episode 4 happened, and I'm like, well, throw that out the window.
Of course, we're still talking about episode 3, of course. But no, I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was very, I like the whole fact that there's now more of a tug of war of who's controlling who, and now it's starting to make sense of where our lovely Mr. Lockley could be coming from. But also, what really pulled me in the first few seconds of the episode, obviously when he arrives in Egypt, is the cap and then the accent. I said it to himself, it turned. I was like, that accent when he was asking questions to the merchant about tea or whatever, yeah. And then he goes, Layla, what are you doing here? And his accent like changed. It wasn't Mark. And I was like, oh, like is he just playing along? Is this what Jake does in case he runs into someone that he knows? He just plays along to get around the situation or avoid it. And why is he so protective of Layla? maybe it's because of Mark how much he cares, and he's just trying to hide. It was very like telling that like that seed was planted there, and I caught it very quickly.
They do this thing in the comics where they might not get along all the time, but the different personalities do actually care.
They care for each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this.
Because even down to the fight and stuff like that, it was the same. Like, cared.
You were talking, Brian, about episode 2, where you're like, it's cute that Mark cares about Steven. And I'm like, what if that was Jake the whole time? What if Jake has a soft spot for Steven?
It made me feel sorry for him. Like, he's not getting a girlfriend. He probably went out to get the girlfriend.
So Jake is up for Steven. It's not Mark at all. He just thinks it's Mark.
Jake's Steve that
he
shows up and helps him occasionally.
He probably hates fucking Mark, and that's why he's like, when the kid is like going to like get slapped in the face, and he was just boxing everyone to pieces, and then it switches from another part when he runs into him, and then it switches again to him killing him, and he's like, "What? That was you? Was that me? Was it you, or who was that, or whatever?" You know, fighting with himself saying it wasn't me, and I was like, no.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's
So
Jake's
like,
MO as well.
I think he's willing to do the dirty work that Mark actually won't do and just go for it. Instead of getting more information, he'd rather just kill the fuckers because he knows where he needs to go. Because he has the answer with like Steven. Steven is basically the encyclopedia of the whole fucking trio. And then you have the strategist, which is Mark, and then Jake is the hands are dirty under, dog.
One of the things that I think about the show that I was thinking about is it appears like every episode kind of has an inspiration of like a specific genre of movie.
Yes.
Like
I
the
said,
first
did it not
episode's
feel
a bit
like
of a
Mummy?
yeah. The first episode is a bit like a mystery movie, and then the second or third, one of them felt like a Bourne movie. They're like globetrotting and trying to find
very
stuff.
007 Quantum Solace kind of shit.
And then the fourth episode is the Mummy, like
literally.
It is
until it becomes One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just that kind of like, or even like, you know what? Even better. I was watching one of the review channels, and one of the guys pointed out it's very like 12 Monkeys. I was like, oh yeah, it does. You know, Bruce Willis and like Brad Pitt's in there.
Well,
everything's
not
like
really sure what's real.
Not really real. Yeah, the unsureness of it, and then that Inception kind of once the room's turning over, that kind of like your mind is like going crazy. But obviously we're talking about the fourth episode.
I feel like this is like a thing with these Marvel shows in general. I felt like Hawkeye was like almost a direct Die Hard reference in a lot of ways.
Kind of has this like Funhouse feel to it, where you're seeing like different things. Especially like
WandaVision was sitcoms.
WandaVision was very obvious in WandaVision, right?
Yeah, I just didn't like that.
But then again, if you look at the Falcon and Winter Soldier, how that went, I felt like that if Civil War was like stretched out.
Yeah, that's
a
reference to all the other shows that got like messed up by schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to give Falcon and the Winter Soldier always has that little asterisk about the fact that there is a plot line removed from it.
Yeah, they're a little more removed to it. But they're more of the kind of like military side, blah 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 blah.
Looking back to that show,
they had a virus subplot that they had to remove for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Looking back to that show, it starts strong and ends strong, but I think the middle is very meandering.
Oh, I still love John Walker. Hands down, my favorite thing ever.
But there is like we're veering wildly off topic, but with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like the bad guys aren't. For the vast majority of that show, it gives you no reason to dislike the bad guys. They're like, we want like the end of borders and for people to help each other and for everyone to have what they need to survive. And they're like, this kind of matches my worldview. I don't.
Yeah, same. It's just their methods. It's only problem is their methods.
Well, you don't even like they steal from very rich banks. I'm kind of like, whatever. Like it's not until they actually kill a security guard that I have any reason to say these guys are the bad guys. You know?
We're only doing this in a language that they know. It's like
well, apparently there's like you see scenes in camps and stuff that weren't in the final version.
Yeah.
That explains a bit more, gives you a bit more sympathy for them, and makes you go like, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, that's highly frowned upon.
Yeah.
So to steer this back onto the road.
Yeah.
Episode 4 of Moon Knight dropped today,
Yes, it did.
and I really love this episode. This is one of my favorite episodes of any of these shows. I think
Absolutely. I'm like,
first-
I'm breathless
two.
the
It's
whole
like
thing.
it's two different things, and that's
Go
so.
on.
The first
Bring it in.
35 minutes is a direct mummy episode. They're in a tomb.
Oh yes.
They're doing tomb stuff. There's literally a guy mummifying people.
There's a mummy mummifying people.
That was
Yeah.
that was the closest to like an 18s bit we've gotten so far.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
lots of there
R
was,
rating for America.
there was chunks of flesh, so to speak. There was lots of blood, gore. In a way, not too much gore, but there was a little bit of blood being shed. I
I
don't
just
know
feel
why-
like Marvel's trying to push that a little bit more, push the boundaries of what they
I'm
do. a
okay
little
with
bit.
that.
I'm like,
I
is
wanted
this?
to do that.
By the time we get to Deadpool 3, we don't want it to be such a shock.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I
rip
think
the
it is, yeah.
bandage off then and there. Yeah. Because if they can't deliver on that end, oh my god, it'll be like that video game all over again.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ethan
Wait.
Hawke continues to be really good.
I have to say, I love how Ethan Hawke goes from one scene, transitions to, like, obviously this kind of like, I am the Avatar, I am this one that will bring a balance, I am doing the will of the god, blah 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 blah, into this kind of psychiatrist role, trying to talk to him and being like, building that rapport, being familiar, and just kind of getting on his level and all that other stuff. And it was just that kind of like that change. It almost kind of had that weird kind of goblin kind of feel to it, you know? A kind of morphing to the
yes.
slick hair with glasses, the mustache, you know, very kind, very, you know, that kind of nature, instead of that kind of like, everything is just like this kind of cult leader walking towards you slowly, like something out of like a Jason movie or something like that, you know? Like,
Yeah,
know
we
what,
should
I
say
I like that.
we should say 3/4 of the way through this episode, Mark gets shot, and we wake up in a psychiatrist or a mental institute.
Yeah, and it's white and it's quirky, and I could not stop looking at the clock. I looked on every other people's theories. I was like, there's something going on with that clock. Why do we pan so slowly from the girl that was working in the gift shop that was giving shit to Stevie about the hippos, passing the clock slower, and then moving over to where he is in the chair? And I'm like, why is that clock significant? And it just really rocks me, so I have to rewatch it now.
Never thought about the clock.
That like the clock, there's something weirdly wrong about that clock, and I cannot stop thinking about it, and I need to rewatch it. Like, it struck me so much that nobody talked about it. I was like, there's something strange with that clock, and I cannot shift it.
I have two things I'd like to mention about this. First of all, I thought it was great. It was a really good episode. The swerve was brilliant.
Yes.
But they took away Mark's powers. We just had a big chat about that.
No,
Yeah,
it was
and he
episode
got
4,
shot.
it's fine.
Is it 4 episodes in is okay?
Wasn't episode 2.
I thought it was really cool
Doesn't
to
count.
see him go through that break, though, from like getting shot, hitting the water, and then that
Yeah.
kind of like illusion of him falling. Because that,
Yeah.
in a way, isn't that some people describe somehow of their DID, or even that that movie Get Out, when he gets
I was
and, like, you know,
ecstatic.
sleep, and then he just drowns into himself. You know,
I
like
was
it was
ecstatic.
weird.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, my other point was this big shift. First of all, I hope they keep an element of, but this could be the real world, guys. And like, I hope they don't just go, no, listen, he was dying and his mind went weird and he thought he was not. Like, this is what I wanted from Moon Knight, is a bit of like,
Quirkiness
it-
and
yeah,
craziness.
yeah.
Yes.
what's going on. But the other thing I wanted to mention was, it's really like, there was a bang of Legion off this. The first series of Legion, it opens with David Holler, Legion, Charles Xavier's son, in a mental institute, and he's not sure what's real or not. And he's
Yeah.
Legion, so he's got multiple voices in his head, and it's very, very similar. Now, it's not that it looks the same. The art, the direction is completely, it's real 60s and retro in Legion, as opposed to like the clean
Yeah.
white stuff it had going on here. But it felt very like the having to question what's real and watch what's going on. It's really similar to Legion. So if you like this, go and watch Legion. Watch the first 2 series of Legion, because something happens at the end of the second series which put me off watching the third. Like
Okay.
the main character does something really despicable, and like I don't want to see, like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
okay.
the first
You don't
series
have
is
to
the
talk
first-
about it if it hurts.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but like this is really what I wanted from Moon Knight.
Yes.
I didn't want a straight superhero story. I wanted what's going on,
Yeah.
make me work.
Yeah,
You know?
like
Yeah.
I didn't.
Let
I
me
didn't.
think.
I wanted him to always be trying to push the story forward, but something pulling him back at the same time. Not just from like a factor about Layla, or like the factor of like, you know, whatever the hell else he's trying to figure out, but the whole thing of like there's always something tugging at him constantly that he has to finally unwrap. Like the whole Stevie thing, the fact that he can't really control his body as much as he used to. The third factor, the sarcophagus that was shaking as he ran down the hall. The fact that he
Yeah.
could poke
The
himself.
Jake sarcophagus.
You know what I mean? Like the sheer like boggleness of it all. Like it's just yeah, loving it.
I
With that clock.
don't want Mark Spector to ever really know if he's talking to gods or he's insane.
That's
Yeah,
how I
same.
like it.
But I like it also confirms the fact that, by the way, spoilers in case anyone knows, that it was himself that confirmed to even Layla that her father was going out to prove that gods are real, trying to go off and find Alexander the Great's tomb.
Like, it's not just me. Harrow's his partner, right?
Who?
Who's his partner?
Like Ethan Hawke
Oh,
is
Harrow.
was Mark.
Harrow.
Yeah,
Oh, was it, yeah, Dad's partner? I would be.
like
Wouldn't
that
be
has to be
surprised.
the guy that did it. Like it has to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
There's no other character that they've introduced. Like, unless you're gonna go, it was Taskmaster.
It
Or
was
something like that.
Taskmaster. Oh God, don't do that to us, please. Please, Kevin.
But
I
it just
can't
feels
re-
like that has to be.
Is
Can't
Harrow
be.
the guy who shot Mark in the comics? I don't know. That
No,
character's so
it was,
inconsequential.
it was,
Yeah, I never remembered.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but bum. Somebody Google it. Bum shot, bum. It's something. Put it in the comments if you think it's bum. Also, emojis will work.
Context tank. Where's this character from?
He's the man that shot Layla's father, or Marla. I can't remember the original person's name that was replacing Layla. Because there was a girl that was actually the daughter that was on the site in the comics. So basically what happened was, in the comics, her father and her was on
Earl
site.
Bushman.
Bushman! There you go. Was Bushman, and the mercenaries came over, and obviously it was Bushman that killed her father in the comics. Now I don't know if they
Okay.
would introduce Bushman into it, but if Mark is saying like, confirm after when like, obviously she wanted to know the truth, Mark took over, like, yeah, this is the crack, I was there but I tried to stop it, and she was like, so you led a killer to my father, you know, whatever. But that's what I was like, so if they're going to introduce your man, then I don't know how the hell he's going to fall into this nerd so late in the game.
Holy crap! Bill Sienkiewicz drew the original Moon Knight. I'm just looking at the wiki to where I found that.
There you go.
Bill Sienkiewicz. He's the guy who did the really, really surreal Elektra book. You know, the famous one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their early run of New Mutants with like, you know,
Oh.
the crazy Warlock art
Yeah.
all over the place. He's the guy who
Oh.
designed Warlock.
Hmm.
You know, everything.
Did not
Uh,
know that.
Yeah, so that's I'm gonna have to dig that up.
No.
Like it'll be cool and painted. Like
Um,
gonna have to see that. He also did
So-
that Doctor Doom picture I posted to you recently.
Oh yeah, that's
Beautiful
right.
one.
here's a question I have.
No, I don't know where babies come from. I'm still figuring
Let's
that out.
say that the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest world is just in Mark's mind.
All right, Tin Hat is going on. Go on.
Are all the people the way he subconsciously sees them? Because if you notice, what do you call her, Layla comes over and is like really nice to him, but is also stealing from him.
Yeah, but she'd never
Um,
steal from him because she's not nice to him at the moment over what happened.
But and Harold
that-
is almost like a guy who's trying to help him. As deep down, does Mark see people in this way? Is Harold someone who knows his struggle because he was also Khonshu's avatar and is actually trying to help him? And is Layla the one who's actually secretly ruining his life?
No.
this is stuff that I've just come to my head, and I don't think it's fully baked.
This is my. Yeah, I don't think so.
These
Okay.
are thoughts that I'm working on as I speak.
This is my tin hat on right now. Okay, I believe that what Mark is perceiving is the balance of everything that every person that he's interacting with, right? So he obviously runs into Steven. He's an individual now. Probably Lockbeard's going to be an individual as well as shaking in that bleeding coffin, right? Then you also have the like I said, you're one in the gift shop bully, right? Her, that manager or whatever. She's bossy. She's always walking around doing stuff. She's never cowering. She's never holding or hugging anything. And then Layla's kind of like the opposite, which I kind of picked up on as a bit weird. You know what I mean? She's always stealing or running away. She's always looking for Mark. You know what I mean? And she's never nice to Mark. She's always a bit bitchy to him over him fucking off and divorce and everything else. And I was thinking to myself, like, there's a very weird balance and opposite to this. So that's what I think is going on. Even the guy that's the mime is shouting out bingo numbers in front of everyone.
That's who that was. I didn't even put that together.
And there's no B22 as well on the actual, like, well, if you do bingo, so BINGO, they would be the letters, so it'd be B22 would be this one here. That's how I play bingo with me nanny. Yeah, so that's how I believe that everything is a balance. What is the opposites of everyone's individual, you know? That's what I
that
saw
makes
that.
sense.
And then the orderlies are obviously the police
officers.
or the jackals then in this case.
I have what I think is happening, and I have what I wish was happening. What I think is happening, LSD. What I think is happening is this is just like the white hot room. This is where Mark's brain is going when he's dying.
DMT.
Yeah.
Or it could be that prison void.
Yeah.
Why would herself be hello at the end?
Well, it could be a form of heaven. It could be a form of, purgatory or something like that. But that's the likely thing, which I don't want to happen. What I want to happen is for that to be the real MCU, and Mark will become Moon Knight in that reality.
Do you hear us,
you know what I mean?
Do you hear us?
I think that's a really good. Like, Mark breaks out and becomes Moon Knight.
Yeah, Mark breaks out.
Not if he gets himself all dressed up with his crap.
And there's no Khonshu, and he has no idea how the powers got. He just somehow. Yeah. I love the idea that Mark Specs just has powers.
Well, he could imagine that the robes are coming over him, but he's actually made them.
Yeah, well, that's why. That's what they could be manipulating. Because remember in the second episode, obviously when he was with Layla, Steven's running away before he put on his dapper one, Mister, and
the suit.
The suit. Put on his suit. But yeah, the jackal was invisible when it ran through, so it made it look like he was just fucking crazy running around. She knows there's nothing here. She can't hear it. She can't see it. And then as soon as she threw something at it, then obviously she had the interaction there that she could see something and hear something then. But to anyone, you and I, make it look like you're a crazy person. Because isn't that his goal anyway? To make it look like that, can't you pick the broken man that's sick and just get this all seed gaslighting, if you will?
Absolutely.
Oh, I see as gaslighting.
So
anyway,
Alexander the Great being the last pharaoh was pretty funny. I like that.
I like the fact that he could have been an avatar.
Yeah.
I like that.
It makes
all the sense.
Actually, it's pretty well imagined. I thought the tomb stuff was excellent. The fighting the mummy creature.
Yeah, the intenseness of it.
Big fan of the trying to step over thin ridges as stuff falls into a pit below.
And then this hand creeping. And
that was really the hands coming out from the wall. That was shot really well.
It was great. And even towards the end, obviously when she's like, "Oh, I'm safe now" or whatever, got away from that weird thing, and it just comes creeping out, and then pulls her in twice, and I was like, "Ugh." That's it, she's gone. And it was gonna be black screen, and obviously they're like, "Haha, fuck you."
Trying to stab her with the broken bone.
I can't. It was so good. Sick of the eye. And then the throwing off cliff. It was just one. It was one of those moments like, oh, you're gonna fall, maybe you'll be safe, and I'm feeling like I'm wrong every time. It's like, oh, she's safe. oh no, it's gonna be Hippo fall and then she's safe. And then I'm like, oh, I feel wrong. Oh, I feel wrong. So I like that a lot. It was a lot of that going on. And I like the whole freak out that Stephen did the moment he went into the tomb for Grey Alexander. Or Alexander Grey even. And he's like having these mini freak outs, like at all of this stuff. And he's like, hold on, Mrs. Elliot, hold on.
I loved Mark being like, oh yeah, get your hand right in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah. Even though it's his hand anyway, you know what I mean? And that was going through my mind. I was like, it's your hand too, dude.
The bit where Mark punched Steve in the face.
Oh yeah,
That was
so
very
good.
funny.
That was good.
After kissing Layla, like,
Really good.
Ah,
You're so angry you have to take over, but that's a good sign
so-
as well. You know what I mean? Like
I have a
if that
question for
keeps it-
you, Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
Is there an Egyptian hippo character in the Marvel universe?
Yeah. It was
To my no-
she was mentioned earlier. Mark was
The
talking to the
Enneads.
little girl. Ennead.
The Ennead does exist in the comics.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I cannot remember seeing a hippo.
I
love the
I'll
little
look it
girl
up.
voice.
Yes. It was in that chat and he was kind of talking away and he pointed to was it that or
It's
was
the
it
little
during Harold?
girl. It's the little girl from the first episode, probably.
Yeah, because
The
there's
way
no,
every character in this
yes.
is mapped to someone we've already met. Like,
yeah, exactly. Maybe.
yeah,
Or she could be just see, this is the tin hat, guys. Listen to me. Okay? The tin hat gets stronger and stronger with each passing. She could be, she may not be, she could be Mephisto. We don't know. Okay?
Stephanie Mephisto. Moving on.
This show,
Next.
this is the perfect show for theories.
It is,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
about it.
Really opened up, like this episode really opened it up, like to all that kind of
I
stuff.
feel like episode 5 is the Jake episode. I just feel like that's what it kind of has to
She
be.
is Hippo. Oh yeah, she is. She's a real thing. She's the goddess of childbirth and fertility. It was mentioned as well in the It was in the first episode or the
Oh
second
yeah,
episode.
they mentioned her in the first
yeah,
episode. Yeah,
she's the god for the lady that told them where to find the star map.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
and she's the slipper god.
Yes.
For the slippers.
Yeah. Okay.
episode.
Here's another thing. How would Mark know what she looks like?
We already talked to Stephen about it because he already studied her.
Steven studied her. This is Mark's mind.
Yeah, but like if Stephen is with him right there and they see a giant hippo, he's gonna freak out anyway because he's a little softy, right? But
And I don't know how to break this to you, Aiden, but they're the same person.
they're the same person.
But
They
And
actually have the same mind. They just think they don't.
They just don't.
they don't share
yeah.
memories though.
No, they don't share memories.
They're-
They work individually, but they can talk to one another. But at the end of the day, Mark doesn't know who she is, but Steven
They're-
does. It's just that this shit is so surreal. He was just locked in a box. He now hugs himself. There's a hippo in front of him. Of course, he could stop.
Well, extract yourself from the lie that they're not the lie, from the situation, the mental illness that they have. They are the same person who have the same memories. They tell themselves they're not.
Yeah.
Like, and that could be a plot point. I suspect, like, Steven's suddenly gonna beat the crap out of a villain or something in an episode. I think
Yeah.
they're so good at separating them. It feels like they're really making us really buy into the fact that Mark Spector is a different person to Steven.
Yeah.
I do.
You know-
100% think.
100%. Yeah. That's because it's a good series, I think.
Yeah.
So, but
We
if
talked
this,
about her as a softie. It was a gift. It was a gift shop woman, and she was holding that hippo in her hand.
oh, they can just say Mark was in the mirror anyway, looking at that conversation. If they want to.
If
You know,
they
this-
want to.
You know yourself.
But, like,
But
there's
this is a
way-
really. I think this is a good.
But Mark hasn't even addressed it
indication.
yet, guys. Mark hasn't even addressed it yet. They just shouted at the thing, which said hello, and then the episode ended. Left me on a high and dry, as usual, Kevin. As usual. I sit here. I wait for a little bit more minutes. You don't give me any.
I feel like if this was like Mark Spector's final moment and the light was flashing between his eyes, he would not be seeing things that would be like
I'm telling you
important to
now.
Steven.
He's in that void. I'm telling you. That's what's
I
happening.
I would like that. That would be my preferred.
That
this
is
isn't just-
my
Yeah,
preferred.
yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Anyway,
Anyway,
right.
After all those arguments.
So Miss Marvel's out in June.
Miss Marvel.
There's a tiny bit more to this story in that I couldn't find it now. I went looking for it again. I'd read it during the week, but there's a blurb somewhere on Marvel on their website saying Miss Marvel gets her powers from a pair of amulets that came from space. So it's either quantum bands or nega bands. You know that whole.
So she's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel.
Which is not what anyone wants, but that's where we
It's
are.
a really weird idea.
Yeah, but that's their push
get
for
it.
that. You remember they're trying to push that to the younger base.
They're trying to
Well,
they're trying to push that she's heavily connected to Captain Marvel.
But as discussed a couple of weeks ago, my problem is not that it's pushed towards kids. That's fine. My problem is that her original power set, there's a point to it that she can look like Carol Danvers or a hot blonde 20-year-old if she wants. She chooses not to. She chooses to be herself. That's a big thing about the character.
There's a lovely bit of.
I don't know how they're
going
gonna swing that whole narrative in this age.
I feel like they're just not going to do it, and I think it's.
I don't know how. Like that's my. How would you swing that narrative into this age, right? Like,
it works. Works perfect.
Oh, she could. It's perfect.
Is she trying to
could
get
be
a job?
An Instagram model. She could be like the. She could be the ultimate Instagram model, but she doesn't because that wouldn't be real.
Yeah.
But like,
That's
is
not
it
really
a case
her.
that they're gonna talk? Maybe they're gonna talk about it in it when they're talking about her powers. Maybe she goes through that situation and she's figuring out with her friend, and then she's like, "No, I shouldn't do this," and then that's the whole.
Yeah, but she doesn't have. That's the point. She does not have those powers in the TV series. So like the core deciding factor. Well, yeah, okay, that's the point. Okay.
Okay. Like that's you're like it's not there. We only just seen dribs and drabs.
It looks
like
that.
Yeah, the powers
would appear.
The powers she's shown to have in the trailer aren't powers that she's ever had before.
Yeah.
But she's had it in the video game though.
No, they're different in the.
No, in the video game she could do stretchy stuff.
Yeah, she can't do that stretch. Yeah, she's got Green Lantern powers in the.
Oh yeah, that's
trailer.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a nice message behind her. It'll be a shame if it was missed.
Yeah, but as you're saying, we don't like maybe the amulets get absorbed into her and she gets all her regular powers, and because they can't use in humans. That's we talked about all this a couple of weeks ago. That's a potential thing that's happening here. Is that the problem is not stretchiness? The problem is in humans.
Yes. Possibly. We don't know.
Anyway, I thought.
Put in it.
Oh, it was worth bringing up because they mentioned the amulets.
Oh yeah, no, of course they're actually obviously going to be a big part of it because a lot of people are still kind of struggling with the whole like she goes up to her grand's loft or whatever and finds the band just sitting there, be passed down. And she just suddenly just goes to a convention, boom, she's all of a sudden turned into Miss Marvel. It's kind of like.
The character does have an amulet passed down from her grandmother, but it's just an amulet.
Yeah, not like bracelets.
She wears it all the time, but it is just an amulet.
It's like the 10 rings.
So
all over
in a week that we got the best episode of Moon Knight so far, and I've watched some incredible episodes of One Piece. The best thing that I've seen is a 1.5-minute trailer for Thor 4. I'm so psyched for this film.
You, me, and everybody else is dripping. That teaser, let me tell you. Right? Let me tell. And me man Chris was there. Did I tell you?
Oh, yeah, such a good look.
Do you know what I really loved about this trailer? It's just mood.
There's no story giveaway. Yeah. No, it's great.
Nothing like it. I love the fact that the trailer is perfectly telling its own individual story and not giving away anything else. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Marius? Yeah? Anyway, not giving away anything else. Okay? And then keeping its own hype, own vibe, and just being the Waitiki-est ever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. We're gonna be funny. Thor's kind of given up on violence and has chilled out a bit. He's wearing casual clothes now. The Guardians of the Galaxy are there.
His buds.
Did you like
Star-Lord.
Korg? We have more Korg.
Yeah,
and he has those fur on. And did we see that blue armor? Oh,
blue
man.
gold thing he has going on, yeah.
Really tastes great. Like, and I love the fact now, if you haven't seen the trailer, you have to go out and do it. And that's not there's no spoilers in it, so anything we're talking
No,
about
it's
is
like
fair
it's the
game.
least story-intensive trailer Marvel
It
have made
it
in
is
years.
beautifully done. It was so well done, and it's just the start of it as he's running with the fucking sweet child of mine and just going through the narrative of it from young
I
Thor
was
all the way
so-
up to like the retro like comic Thor, like all the
I
other
was so
Thors.
worried for the first couple of seconds, like, are we going to get like a slow, crappy version of Sweet Child of Mine? But no, they used the real song.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they just deadened the other instruments at the start. Like
Yeah.
that's
Thank you.
yeah, and it just worked.
Ugh.
They've been killing it with their music in the trailers recently. The blinding lights in the Miss Marvel one was savage as well. It was the best thing
Great.
about the Miss Marvel
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
We killing it with music ever since they put Immigrant Song in Thor 3.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Which is-
yeah.
Which is weird because actually within the films, music is almost like what's Iron Man's theme? I don't know. Like
Yeah,
you look at
only
DC.
the Avengers have a relatable
theme.
motif.
Yeah,
like a memorable motif.
ACDC's Thunder. I think it is Thunderstruck.
No,
Actually,
I think
in
it
Iron
is.
Man 3, he gets a new one called "Can You Dig It?"
Oh yeah,
which is,
Can You
I
Dig
think-
It is another one.
Yeah, it's the
That's
that's
second best.
Booker T's entrance music.
Booker T. I love it.
Halftime.
Spin a Rudy. Sorry. God, I love it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, really good trailer. Star Lord hates him.
Love it.
That you know that.
The whole like
yeah, that I've seen that now maybe 30 times as a meme.
Yeah.
That's the new meme template.
just the whole like you're just looking that direction and just like
He's such a good comedy actor. Like he's just this little face.
Absolutely.
oh
You were
man,
saying
like
that
it's
you
great.
mentioned that. Yeah, he's now wearing Terry Bogart's jacket.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I was
Just-
only saying it earlier that
He
he
has the
said
hat
he
on
would,
when he's doing the.
he would be Thor for as long as he can, and I am so happy that he is on board for signing up his life to us.
I love when somebody that I like finds something that they like that I enjoy watching them do.
Yes,
And this, yeah.
it brings me such
love
joy that you're bringing me joy, that everyone's having such
Yeah,
joy, that you're having joy.
You can tell
and-
he's enjoying it. I like that. And after those first two Thor films, it's a
He
miracle.
deserves it.
Let's just, before we start absolutely losing our minds stroking this absolute beauty of a situation, let's talk about the actual trailer itself. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that we're seeing Zeus. Are we talking about a whole pantheon of different gods? The Egyptians?
Hercules
Are we
time.
talking about like the Greeks? Are we talking about now like, what's the
I'm
story
sure
down
might
with,
show.
what's the story down with like Black Panther? You know, Bast?
Yeah.
Isn't Bast part of the whole Egyptian side of it too?
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way?
Bast is Egyptian. Yeah. yeah.
Right? So like there's a whole pantheon of different things, and then you have obviously our Norsemen up the top. And then
It's
we
time to be
have
Hercules.
Druid,
I'll say
which
that
is
now.
obviously our lads. Go on the lads. And yeah,
That
so
will work.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
this whole
Like-
what are we expecting? Are we expecting a fight? And it looks like in the trailer that they're showing up the Zeus's gaff.
Looks like they're having a bit of a party, to be
I
honest.
Bit of a-
really hope it's a god party. That's
I hope it's a
yeah,
god
the-
party. And then we get
Like, what
God,
if-
God Butcher coming in sweeping shit up.
Yeah, to me, this doesn't even need fights. This movie doesn't even need fights.
Oh.
Yeah, I just want to see Thor chilling out for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
all
mean,
that
I
would be funny.
listen. If why you take listen, man, just
Taika
40
Waititi is
minutes,
quickly
40
the
minutes of
favourite
him
director in the world.
hopping, God hopping
Oh.
bar to bar.
I haven't watched it yet, but
god
I hear Our
crawl.
Flag Means Death is amazing.
Yeah, I heard that too. Our Flag Means
Yeah.
Death is supposed to be insanely good.
Yeah.
And that's probably for the list. Maybe the first thing I watch after I finish One Piece. Go straight to more pirates.
Is he involved in What We Do in the Shadows, or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He wrote it?
he directed the original movie, and I think he's a executive producer on the
On the
show.
series. Okay. alright,
series?
yeah.
Yeah, and he's
That
also
film.
he's in the show.
He is in the show. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
on-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That
Have you
original
watched the
film.
show?
Oh yeah, I love it. I haven't
yeah.
seen the last series yet, but What We Do in the
I'm
Shadows.
actually the same, but that film's amazing.
Yeah, the film.
It's so good.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
We're werewolves, not swear
I'm
wolves.
so happy Rhys Darby is getting like a mainstream big show to just. I think he's one of the funniest people in the world. I think he's absolutely incredible. There's a show he was in called Short Poppies. It was on Netflix. It's this weird show. There's like 8 episodes. It's him and David Barrier, who is the New Zealand Louis Theroux. If you ever seen the documentary Tickled, he's the guy that made that.
Okay.
And the whole show is your man David goes to a town, and every episode he spends with a different townsperson, and they're all played by Rhys Darby.
Oh my god.
And they're all weird characters. It's like a season of Louis Theroux's Wacky Weekends, all situated in one town, and every person that he's interviewing is played by Rhys Darby. The last episode is like a meetup where they all come to a party and he plays everybody.
Oh no.
Sounds amazing.
It's amazing. It has weird cameos, like what do you call it? Carl Urban's in an episode, and what do you call him? Survival dude. That's
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, Bear Grylls is in an
Here
episode.
I am, eating my own
It's-
poo.
It's just this weird show. It was made, I think.
So
it
great.
was
I
funded
actually
by,
went
think, the New
past the
Zealand
Bears
government.
Grill Adventure Park in Birmingham. There you go. I don't know if you have your own tasting. You know,
I
like
used to hate
that's
Bear Grylls. I used to hate Bear Grylls, but Bear Grylls takes himself, takes the piss of himself in this. Like, he plays himself in this
Does
show,
he? Oh,
and it's amazing.
Have
Like,
you ever seen the Irish episode of Bear Grylls?
I have
It
multiple
is so
times.
funny.
I can't
So
believe he takes a sheep and blows it up like
Sheep off a
turns it
farmer.
inside out, turns it inside out, sleeps in it,
Yeah.
furry inside,
You-
then turns it
you
back
know-
around and makes a buoy out of it to float across
You know,
the Shannon.
there's a road like 50 meters away
There's
from him, and people
there's
are
and
walking
people
by
are-
him.
Yeah, there's a bridge right there, pal.
It's so
Scarred
funny.
it for you, and he's
It's
going
so
right
good.
into the muck and the silt before it gets into the Shannon, because that's all just washed down. Like, and that comes out of Dublin sometimes. You know
He
what I
has
mean?
to really try to make it seem like it's awkward to get around
Bless him.
rural Ireland.
Right, we're getting sidetracked. Anyway, what did we think of Natalie Portman showing up in the trailer?
She looks
Looks
young
perfect.
and amazing.
Do you hear like she looked perfect? Love it.
See the arms on her.
She looked mighty.
Looks like Thor,
she-
like-
yeah.
She looked like she looked like she worked out. And girl
Yeah.
works out, man.
Love it.
I
She
love the
looks
whole.
excellent in that outfit,
And I
that
got
costume.
really concerned. I was thinking to myself, could this be like a multi-universe situation, or my theory was, okay, hear me out. Tin Hat. Have to rewatch Ragnarok as well. I'll probably watch it again. Anyway, you know the way Mjolnir gets obviously
Bored.
smashed
Yeah.
smashed to pieces after Hela. I have this theory. Our girl gets sick, obviously, heads down to the last place where Mjolnir was. Maybe it was a calling, a voice, or anything like that she had to go down, and then she touched it. Boom. She's a Thor. You know? I don't think that will happen.
She's worthy, gains
She
the
is-
powers of Thor.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, she's worthy. Absolutely. Can't wait. I'm absolutely dying for this. Like, I've never felt so hyped. I'm more hyped about this than I am about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, and
But
I
that's
was
because I think
I was already massively hyped about Doctor Strange anyway, but this is just pushed it over the top.
Doctor Strange, I know, will be noteworthy. And it'll be good, I'd imagine. Like, he's a great director. But it'll be very noteworthy.
This is what
I
I'm
think
talking
this
about.
will be just
Good.
2.5 hours of incredible fun.
The best thing they ever did was keeping a director that works, that knows what
Yeah.
works, okay? And Sam Raimi's is also one of those fellas, right? That can see something and can see how it works and make it work. He did very well on the latest stuff, and I can't wait to see what he brings to Doctor Strange.
Every time.
Aren't we eating well, like, at the moment? Like,
Yes.
We are eating
we
so
have a Sam
well.
Raimi and a
Yes.
Taika Waititi film,
We're-
and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. Like,
This
it's
is what I'm
a
talking
lot of
about.
good
Like,
stuff.
it's a lot of there's a lot of shit getting really spooned into us, and like if they keep going at this oh my god, it's momentum. Like, I had to have a conversation. Like, my kids are gonna be like, oh yeah, I grew up on Marvel because I'm like, I was there, fully formed and rational. I was there. I was there,
The Bane
man.
speech. I was
there
born
at
in the
at
comics.
Gather
premiere
around.
day of Iron Man.
See these fucking scars? These aren't wrinkles, these are paper cuts, babe. Do you even know what paper is? Sustainable doesn't know. Yeah. This is gonna be like that. I'm gonna say, get around, kids. I'll tell you the tale of the comic book.
There's there's a lot of your usual Egypt woke female Thor.
I
And
will
it's just
dance on you.
yeah. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, seeing as we're discussing it, the female
What?
Thor storyline by Jason Aaron is considered one of the best Thor storylines in the last 30 years,
Yeah,
as is Gore the God Butcher. So going crap.
yeah,
But it reminded me of this amazing. There's a panel in a comic where She-Hulk. She's
yeah.
trying to get angry, right? Because she needs to get stronger. She turns around to the villain and picks him up and says to me, "Tell me why Thor can't be a woman."
Yes. And that's what could happen.
Actually,
And that's what could
that's-
happen if you put those kind of comments in below. That's what could happen.
What's
Right?
that thing?
I,
And it's not even a threat, it's a promise.
speaking of eating well, that's the other show I'm looking forward to most in the world is Law
She-Hulk,
Procedural Marvel.
Oh my god, like again, Brian said, are we not eating
Yeah.
well? We're eating very
Absolutely.
well, Kevin.
You know who's
God,
not
I
eating
could
so
definitely
well?
buy it.
You know who's not eating so well?
What a segue.
Barbies? I keep dropping Barbies, I'm so sorry.
DC aren't feeding us as well nearly.
No.
They've had a bad week.
Oh man, have they had a bad week? Right, so our lovely Ezra Miller, God bless them, gets arrested again. Allegedly attacking someone with a chair, of all things. Now, mind you, side note, I have a lovely man in my life. He had attacked the chair. The chair didn't come at him, and now he has a scar right here. So I can't imagine what this poor individual got with a chair swung towards him. So DC puts a pause on all future collabs with the actor.
Yeah.
And
How did you not know it's only acceptable to have someone with a folding chair?
I don't know what they're going through, but it's like, again,
On
this
the
is
back.
on the
Yeah.
Lads,
Go ahead,
it's not
Josh.
the WWE. That's a different podcast. We'll let people know the name later.
Sorry.
And,
Oh, we're talking about wrestling soon.
yeah, exactly. So shush. But yeah, this is like how many instances out so far with Ezra.
Oh,
Miller?
it's. I mean, I should have really
Past month.
when I
I
was
have-
writing that. Like, there's 3 in the last month. I think 2 of them were connected. They were the same people. But in the last month, it's
It was like
3.
given out in a karaoke bar. If I remember that conversation right,
Yeah.
it was a couple of weeks ago.
He-
No.
Yeah, yeah. There was the thing in the karaoke bar, but he went after those people later, and they had to get a barring order against him to keep him away. Like, he was ringing them up and threatening them and stuff. Like, he's clearly sick, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's clearly sick. He would appear.
They.
The whole thing, actually, talking about wrestling. I mean, we're all fans of wrestling. We've all seen, when the fame gets to some big wrestler and they start doing stuff like this. You start hearing about them getting arrested over and over and doing.
Well, we had the same similar
like-
stories with Transformer lad.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
Shia
bless
LaBeouf,
him.
yeah.
Shia LaBeouf. He
He
can't
never was
really-
violent.
Well, he was just a bit odd, and then there were stories, God bless, afterwards about what was happening behind the scenes. But it feels like at this stage, some of the young actors, I don't know. I think, I think Miller is absolutely fucking young enough. Anyway, miles younger than I. Don't know what's going on with your life, but I would think they would have someone in their ear.
He should
You know
probably
what I
move
mean?
on with his folks for a while.
I mean, like, what's going on that this is getting so far? It could be health, absolutely a factor, absolutely. But I would hope someone would be in their
I
ear for
think-
the sake of their successful career. Like I said, I enjoyed him being the Flash. I was looking forward to Flashpoint. You know,
I said it last week. I might imagine the unbelievable negative response the new Fantastic Beast movie is getting has not helped.
No,
no, I'm going to
absolutely
see
not.
that tomorrow. Actually, funny enough, 1 o'clock.
Apparently,
show.
that franchise is now on pause too. But
Yeah.
the next story ties into why all these things are being put on pause as well.
All right.
We're going to talk about DC messing everything up.
Yes. So
DC don't
Oh.
want money. Sorry.
Warner Brothers, who is the company that owns DC, has merged with Discovery, as in Discovery Channel. So there's a lot of shake-ups going on within Warner's, but one of the things that has been
This hurts AEW. I'll break some people's faces.
it won't because AEW is doing
I
that.
know, I know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's
but-
a lot of projects on pause, but continue.
So basically, there's a lot of noise going around that they're looking for like a Feige-like figure to take over
A Feige
for
figure?
DC. Yeah, a Feige figure.
I'm right here,
And
baby. You need tin hat theories? I got them.
I have a little thing done.
Do you?
Just the history of DC messing stuff up like this.
Oh, go
my
for it.
my point is actually overall, despite this stuff, like obviously they wanted Miller to be the centerpiece of
Yeah.
the DCEU going forward, right? It's obvious that's what everyone liked them in Justice League. Like them in Justice League, and it's obvious that's what they were going for. But that's in a shambles now. That's not their fault. But
No.
I think the current people in charge, who's person in charge, Walter Hamada, has done a pretty good job. Better probably than anyone who's for a long time that's been in charge before him. Like in the last 5 years, there's the Batman, there's Joker, there's there's good films coming out now.
Aquaman, I'll go on the hell for Aquaman. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what
Shazam was pretty good.
Shazam's been
Shazam.
pretty,
I'm looking forward to the next one as well.
Yeah,
especially
Black Adam and Shazam 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say
Half the
think
Wonder Woman
DC's
franchise.
Yeah. Like 2 is dodgy, but whatever.
That's only half the Wonder Woman franchise.
Yeah. But you can it's probably a Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
I think
The Suicide
he's doing
Squad.
better. Like they're in their
And
best state.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah, there's good stuff. But so he's probably gone. So anyway, so here's my little thing. The history of DC movies has a lot of backstabbing and chaos, and that often comes at the expense of the movies. Discovery's desire to get a Feige-like figure may be misinterpreted by fans who see Feige himself as a super fan. What they're looking for is a producer who can keep everything together and everyone happy for a large amount of time. All right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So people are like, because we look at Feige doing everything we like and we go, yay, Feige. He's just he is a fan. He started out in like X-Men cartoons. That's where he started, Wolverine and the X-Men. Like
He did, in fairness, yeah.
Yeah.
The man is an organizational master.
Yeah, like how no one's managed this ever. So like, it's not as simple as getting a good filmmaker in to be in charge. But like, this stuff is par for the course with Warner's and DC. So with Superman 1 and 2, Richard Donner made Superman 1. It was probably the biggest film in the world at the time. But when he was starting to work on Superman 2, he got removed. And the reason he got removed is one of the stupidest things. He believes he was removed because the producers didn't want to pay Marlon Brando the 11% that he was due if his scenes were used, and Richard Donner wanted his scenes to be used. Right? Producers were a couple called the Salkins, right?
What?
So, yeah, that's stupid, right? It's not just me.
Yeah.
No, why? Okay, no, that was a long time ago. I'm still listening.
Yeah. It was the highest paid role ever, the first one, wasn't it?
It was, highest paid roles ever. But this is Superman we're talking about. It was earning bank.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
made
mean? Like-
so much money.
Yeah,
It made a... Okay, keep going.
and does to this day. So, when Donner started shooting Superman 2, they wouldn't even give him a budget. Like, he was spending money, but he didn't know what his limit was. Like, so it was like they were setting him up to fail in Superman 2 for some reason.
That's bollocks.
Yeah. So, like, he goes, and this effectively tanks the franchise. 2 was okay. 3 was, people don't like 3, and 4 was just awful.
Oh,
right?
Jesus,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Superman 4, A Quest for Peace.
yeah. Nuclear Man. So
What a
this,
film.
so
Oh, man.
so DC, well, not DC, Warner Brothers managed to take this really, really incredibly popular film franchise and managed to tank it. So this is the first time they do that.
Yeah, and there's another 4-film series where we're going to talk about.
And we haven't even gone into the fucking millennium yet.
Yeah, we're so long ago. So
We're
the next,
so long ago, Eric.
the next big film is Batman, right? Tim Burton again makes the biggest film pretty much ever. Right?
Yes.
So, however, this time they do give him license to do what he wants in the second film, and they were not happy because Batman Returns they consider to be too Tim Burton-y.
Yeah.
That
I wish
penguin is horrifying.
Yeah, right. Like, it's my favorite Batman film to this day.
Yes, it is.
Batman
Danny DeVito
Returns.
did a fantastic job of Cobblepot,
Love it.
okay?
But when you think
But-
about it, how could you even think about selling toys from that penguin?
That is exactly the point. They could
Yeah.
not sell toys. So
Yep.
Tim Burton was removed. Joel Schumacher was put in, and Joel was just like he was doing his best, but he was also a yes man. So that's why
Oh,
everything's
man.
neon, glowing, and the costume changes and everything. And that, of course, time to tanks the franchise, right?
I quite like. I quite like the third one.
The third
Get
one's
out.
okay. The fourth one
Get
is
out.
just
Yeah.
done.
Oh,
But
the
I
fourth one.
quite like it. It's a
It's an arc.
fourth one. The fourth one's kinda it has that roomy vibe to it where it's so bad.
Yeah.
that it's
I mean,
a
I
bit of a
watched
laugh.
I watched the fourth one for a laugh from time to time. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on as
But-
background noise when I clean the house.
Yeah.
You know?
But the
Sorry.
third one still made bank. The fourth one fell off the cliff. That's kind of the like it's not the last one where the guy might have had some influence. It's the one after, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it always falls off cliff. So we're gonna shoot forward a bit to the time of the Nolan trilogy, right? So the Nolan trilogy itself passes off without
Now,
any real
into the
issue.
millennium.
Yeah, we're into the millennium. But at the same time, the MCU is whirring up, right?
Yeah.
Right. Almost at I think it's 2005. Iron Man and Batman Begins both come out.
And we
Not
already
Dark
had
Knight,
the
same
Incredible
year.
Hulk was
Maybe
already.
it was Dark Knight.
It was.
I thought Dark Knight and Iron Man were the same year.
I might have been wrong on that. I didn't double check that, but I knew one of the Batman films was the same year as Iron Man.
Dark Knight and Iron Man would have been the same year, so 2008.
So it's
Yeah,
so it's around that time that they hire Zack Snyder with the idea that he starts building a franchise. Right.
mhm.
And
People are gonna
I
want
want
him
to kind of
again.
be fair to Zach in this, right? Because it's very easy to just say it's all his fault, and it partially is his fault, right? But so what
Yeah.
happens is, Zach makes Man of Steel, and he has a plan for like Man of Steel 2, and he's thinking of a Batman film. He's thinking of all these different things leading up to a Justice League,
Yeah.
right? But what happens is, Man of Steel underperforms. Compared to what they wanted. I can't remember the exact figures, but I think it was like he did 500 million instead of 800 million, something like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know it's a hard knock. It's a hard life, right? So then,
You know, wanted $1 billion.
yeah, they wanted $1 billion
Around that
basically.
time, it's around
Yeah.
that time before these movies were making $1 billion.
Yeah.
Iron Man made $1 billion. Why can't Superman, who's a bigger character, make $1 billion? Was their argument.
Because you already
It-
watched that
It
laundry
made 700
4 or
million.
5
Yeah.
times.
700.
You washed that fucking uniform, and we've watched the pearls drop. And there it goes. Go on.
Yeah.
I
So-
digress.
Like, I think the fault here already lies with Warner Brothers because they gave a director control of the entire franchise. Do you know what
Yep.
I mean? On the basis of 300,
Yeah.
like,
What
and
can you do
Watchmen?
with that?
A
Yeah,
film
yeah.
that is just style.
yeah, and like I don't know where they like, and so the original Suicide Squad gets greenlit by Zack and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Good times.
The MCU is still like just making more and more bank, but they're panicking. So they convert Man of Steel 2 into BVS, probably against Zack's wishes, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about yous, but BVS is my least favorite film in the DCEU. I hated it. It's so boring. It takes something that should be
It's so
incredibly
dragged
exciting.
out with a lot
Yeah.
of the scenes. Like, a lot of the scenes could be
Yeah.
just, anyway.
So
It's close. Man of Steel are pretty close to my
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
but yeah,
yeah, for me, BVS
I
is
just
worth
like
the
Henry Cavill 'cause
opinions.
he's just...
it's a worse film. But I think I hate Man of Steel more.
And because Avengers is hit at this time, he gets forced to turn the Turner one into Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Right.
bet.
When BVS comes out and he's already making Justice League, because they greenlit all these films,
Yeah.
he's already making Justice League. BVS does worse against projections than Man of Steel does, right? And then they go into like super panic. So they start, interfering, getting him to change things, making things lighter. And everyone I know who was a nerd at this time knew that this wouldn't work. That the MCU worked because it built slowly.
Yeah.
You had 4 or 5 films, so that everyone was like, yeah.
Yeah, because they had it
But-
nicely put out, like Iron Man,
Yeah.
Thor, you know, Captain America, Civil War, you know,
Exactly.
stuff like that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, was anyway, doesn't matter very well. Go on.
But Warner's tries to force Zack to go 3 films, and we want your Avengers as the 3rd film, right? So everyone I know knows this won't work, right? And they start interfering. And the Snyder brothers online will tell you that Snyder should be in charge of everything, and it will be fine.
And they're going to push for that again now.
They're going to push. They are pushing for it right now.
Only
in
because
the
they made a
context of what
point
we were
after that
talking about.
4-hour bleeding documentary of a movie. Jeez, that was
Which
shit
is
for break.
pretty good.
It was good that I had
Yeah, it was
chapters in
pretty
it for
good.
breaks. Anyway.
But
Yeah, chapters.
but while he does appear to have been the wrong choice and did get diminishing returns, I don't think it excuses what Warner Brothers likely did to him, which was using the tragic death of his daughter to throw him out.
What?
Yeah.
No!
Oh, yeah.
I
He
didn't
was
know
taken
this.
off. He was taken off Justice League, and it's because he wants to spend time with his family, and no one thinks that it's because he wants to spend time with his family. Maybe it was, but no one thinks so. And then then they hired Joss Whedon to finish Justice League, and it was not good.
And it
here's
turned out to a big, orangey pile of shite.
And the thing
Okay.
with Justice League is, it's listen, I no longer will stand for Joss Whedon at all, or like he sounds like he's a total dickhead. But to be fair to him, in this case, they gave him a lot of money, but not much time to get the reshoots done. That's why the CGI is so bad, because like you can have 5 people working on one thing, but sometimes you just need one person to work on the one thing and give him time. But they wanted it to come out before financial end because they needed the film to come out to get bonuses and the like. Right? So they pushed him to get it out really, really quick, which is why we all get a crap Justice League. So Snyder's gone now, right? And he's replaced with Jeff Jones. Okay? So Jeff Jones, if you
comic
don't
man.
know,
He's
Comic
more
book
of a
man.
comic man.
yeah, he is a comic man. Does that make him a good producer of films?
No.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Jeff Jones is in charge when Justice League, as I guess you call it, and the original Suicide Squad came out.
Some
it was-
people love it.
Yeah. But he didn't greenlight it, right? He was working on the likes of Wonder Woman, and he gets let go on the basis of how those films do. So he got in trouble for films that other people made, other people greenlit, other people worked on, right? So we never really get to see what Jeff Jones' version of DCEU would have been. Do you know what I mean?
Again,
Which gets,
do they
which-
just don't like money?
yeah, like it's okay that you know, so like Snyder had to go. Let's be honest. It was like we were all there at the time. We were like, oh, like they were boring films, and they were getting worse. So no one, the Snyder Bros can say what they want. At the time, no one was enjoying them.
No one was
Like,
enjoying them. I'm sorry, lads.
And
Sorry.
no one was going to see them. You know.
Nope.
No, I
I
didn't
was-
fucking see it.
I
I waited a
actively
long
hated
time
them.
before I even seen it because everyone was
Yeah.
like,
I-
"Eh."
I actively hated them.
So Hamada gets to take over now, and like Hamada is someone who should be in charge. He was in charge of everything to do with the Conjuring.
Yeah, Conjuring one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're some outstanding.
Oh, is he the guy that created that universe?
Yes,
Yeah.
with no
Oh,
money.
right.
Like,
What?
so he's clearly
Yeah.
they were made for like 5p originally.
Yeah,
So-
they've been an incredible success.
Yeah. So he is someone who you could go, yeah, this guy might be able to be a Kevin Feige. Like, he clearly likes otherworldly stuff. He likes them a
Yeah.
bit darker
But the
than.
question is will they allow him to have the creative freedoms to do what he needs to do? Because at the
You see,
end of the
this
day,
is-
if they did the same thing to Tim Burton,
Yeah. So
we're not
These
selling
guys
toys
could get
now.
that-
We're all big girls and boys. You can sell toys to big girls and boys now.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, he'd have been
Wake
the guy
up.
that got the Justice League Dark thing done properly pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, that's still knocking around, you know, in development hell, the Justice League Dark. But he's the guy who's in charge now. So, like, I mean, he's been in charge for a while, and as I was saying earlier, I think DC films have, on average, gotten better. And,
way better.
Yeah.
I think the
Peacemaker,
the TV
Yeah.
shows have gotten way into
Very.
the
Yeah.
point to where I needed to be. And if it's
Yeah.
going by that, if we're waiting on Colin Farrell's adaptation of feckin' Penguin's, his show's coming out, let's just see what kind of world Gotham's going to be in, because I look forward to seeing the, you know, the year one, year two Batman kind of grimy thriller, dark feel. If that's what they're going to go for that TV show, I'd like that. You know? So
Exactly.
might have winners.
So this news that's coming out now makes it sound like Hamada is probably going to go
But the-
after
the-
after stabilizing the whole thing.
Are they going to keep the same Batman on? Is my question. Robert Pattinson. I'd like to see him on again. Absolutely.
I think
for the
there are.
next one.
I think he's there
And
for
not
a
swap
trilogy
out
at
our
least.
Batmans. You know what I mean? Like, I would like the fact that we had a Ben Affleck for a couple of times. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? But can
I
we
do
have a
think he's there for a
consistent
trilogy.
Batman? Yeah.
Well, we don't really like Flashpoint. Who knows what happens after? You know?
Oh yeah, with Miller and
just-
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Flashpoint has Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
might have-
But I can't imagine they getting Robert Pattinson involved in that.
Plus, we'll just have to see
But
what way they're doing
this seems
it.
like such a this new Batman trilogy seems so grounded.
Yeah. Please God, like, let's keep that going. But what about Aquaman 2 as well, with the whole case going on with...
Yeah. But this. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know,
Mm.
is that movie still going to go forward is my question now.
As far as I know, I've heard nothing.
I think
of
they've
it
already
being,
finished
like-
filming up. I think they're ready for 2023 release, maybe.
You-
But like, the way things are going with that case, and I can't say her name just in case she goes after me because she thinks I'm a bot. You know what I mean? It's like this court case has been going on longer than their goddamn marriage. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know how the hell this is okay. Like, this is okay with this situation that she's involved in, and Miller gets a lot of pauses after everything that they make. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, that was like probably a mental sickness, whatever it may be for Miller, or whatever
Wasn't
the
there
hell
talk
this
of
is. I have
just-
no idea. But it's just so like,
Wasn't there talk of cutting her completely from the film and editing around it?
There was talk of that. It didn't happen in the end, but there was talk of it.
fucking, why not?
I think.
Like,
I-
why not? Why are we gonna have our feelings hurt? They already took Johnny Depp out of Fantastic Beasts, so like,
This situation is.
fair is fair, man.
It does appear that it's one rule for some people and another rule for
Yeah,
another.
and that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. And
Like,
if we're all,
yeah.
if I'm on the woman's side here and I'm fighting for the equal rights, I think it's only fair to have the same shout and match on the other side. You know what I mean?
It's-
Fair is fair.
It's like I
Um,
mean, I haven't really looked into it all that much.
There's
Like,
a lot
as
of
I
there's a lot of fighting from both sides.
Both sides, right?
And
Yeah,
a lot of
It's
and
a
it's all being
complete he
admitted.
said, she said, bro.
It-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a giant he said she said row to the point where he loses all of his work and she still gets to dress up and head off to fucking Australia. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
But that
Does-
well that I'm not gonna get too deep. But I'm just wondering how come that shit hasn't been like tapped.
I don't know. I don't think that film was never released yet, as far as I know. I'm just gonna check.
Aquaman
actually.
too.
I remember it's supposed to be
Yeah.
2023.
Do you remember when like the trench? Do you remember when that came up? One episode of this podcast. Where,
Yeah.
like the trench has been cancelled, and we were all like, "What's the trench?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
a spin-off from Aquaman. Like,
I didn't even
Oh.
know. I had no idea. No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about it. I didn't go across our thing. Must be over on the other side of the pond, you know what I mean?
yeah.
no,
So
trench.
I actually don't want to talk too much about that.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know the ins and outs, and
Shazam
I'm not
2.
going into that.
Shazam 2 coming out this year.
Is it
Shazam
out this
2?
year?
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
I
Shazam
really
2
liked
is out
first
this year.
Shazam. That film was a
Can't
lot.
wait for Shazam, man.
Shazam was the first DC film that made me laugh,
Yeah.
like ever.
Oh, yeah.
Zachary
I,
Levi.
I didn't
Zachary
think it was
Levi's
going to be
such
good,
a
though, when I first
funny,
seen the ads.
charismatic human being.
I wasn't into him. I'm not into him at all. He kind of annoys me in a
Oh,
way. Kind of reminds
I
me
like
of
him.
if Pee Wee Herman was like to not be Pee Wee Herman, grow up and not do weird things. That's how I'd imagine him. You know, he has that sense to him. I don't know. Had that weirdness to him, I guess. And then I seen him Shazam, and I was like, ah, yeah, he's a good one.
I was a big Chuck fan.
Oh yeah, that's what he was doing. That's it. Because like he had a big moppy curly hair, so you know, that's why I couldn't get it. I'm so sorry, Brian.
So that's the end of our
Steering
for
off.
the week.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, theories for next week of Moonlight. Go.
It's the Jake episode. That's all I can say.
We're gonna see Jake.
In some way.
Yeah.
I hope by how this episode starts is not telling us what's going on.
That's my main wish for it. Let us not know what's going on.
Yeah,
But
I actually, what I would love is if the episode started from the moment Mark got shot and they never mentioned the mental institute.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Also,
I'd love
Doctor
that.
Strange, 2 weeks.
Yes, it's out the same day as the last episode of Midnight.
I have a sneaky suspicion theory, and I'm just gonna put it now that it's on the YouTube, okay? Something related with Marvel's gonna happen on the 22nd. I don't know why. I keep seeing 22 out of Thor, seen it in Moon Knight, and I seen it in something else recently being advertised for Marvel. I was like, what is with the 22?
That's this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
what's-
B-22 thing was... It's
What's
like,
happening
I don't
on
know if you
Friday?
saw, but Marvel also put out a little poster thing for Moon Knight, and it was a bingo card. But at the top of it, it just said B-22, like separated from the bingo card.
Yeah.
Mentioned B-22. So
Seen it
they're
everywhere.
doing something with it. Yeah.
And I will go back and have a look at the clock of Moon Knight because I am very sure there's something not right with that clock. Something around that area is not right. That's my thin hat theories for tonight. But is anyone going to be watching any movie-wise? Has anyone got anything planned? I know I'm going to Fantastic Beasts tomorrow. See how
I'm
our,
gonna try and
our
watch Batman
person
over the week.
dinner gets on. You're going to watch what?
Yeah, Batman. It launched on.
Oh yeah, it's out on HBO.
Max.
That's right. If you haven't seen the Batman, watch it
So
on HBO now.
I'm going to watch that.
Again.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it for the first time.
Oh yeah, that's
then.
right. You never got to see it.
Yep. So
Alright.
I'll report back with how I felt about the movie
Good.
next week.
Good. You are going to enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it.
So do I. I might watch it in 2 parts.
Oh, take it
3
pretty
hours is a
quickly.
long.
Are you sure
It's a
you're
long
going to be
one.
able to watch all of it? Because you can't watch anything to save your life. And I'm going to ask you to watch anything.
Uh-huh.
We
You
go
Look,
sure,
again.
are you sure,
I'll
you're going to
take-
be able to
I'll
watch
take-
all of it?
I'll take 3 hours out of my precious One Piece time.
3 hours? The movie's not even that long. Jesus Christ, what's
It
happening
is.
down
It is
there?
3 hours long.
It's not. It's like 2 hours and something minutes. Is it 2
It's
hours?
like 55.
Is it 2:55? What are you on about? It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
think
4-hour movie.
It's
You're
nears,
talking-
it's nears makes no difference. 3
Are you
hours.
sure? That's Justice League you're looking at or something? That's the chapters,
That's
man.
4. But yeah, anything else you want to watch? I'm also probably going to try and watch some of that Flag Means Death.
And
looks
has
great.
anyone watched more of Doom Patrol? I think that they haven't. I see how it is in this relationship.
I've got halfway through the first episode.
I've finished the first
It's
episode.
been
I'm the
weeks.
second.
It's been weeks.
I'm a very
What?
busy man.
But does then actually before we all like really close off the chapters and talk about things that are coming up, does anyone know when Boys season 3 is going to be like launching?
That's not far off.
Is
Boys season 3 and Stranger Things season 4 are both fairly soon.
should be
June
right.
is 3rd of June is Boys. I'm really excited for Stranger Things season 4. They've announced that Vecna is the bad guy, and I'm super excited. If anyone doesn't know, Vecna is if you play Dungeons and Dragons, Vecna is the thing you put your party against when they reach level 20, and you want them to die.
Good size. All right then. Well, I think that's the end of us bantering. I wonder what hell Feckin' Miller's gonna get up to Feckin' next week. God, please.
I hope there's
I
no
hope
stories
it's gonna
with
be
Ezra Miller
okay.
next week.
Please, because I think you're such
Or-
a good actor. And I
Or
think
I'd
just
love the story to be Ezra Miller moves back home with his mum and dad.
mum and dad and then chills out for a bit or looks after yourself or something like that, because like I hate the fact if anyone's struggling, and obviously this person's struggling. I just want you to do well. I want to see Flashpoint. I want to see
Yeah,
the universe blossom
exactly.
for DC. But yeah, so tell us this, Brian, where can people find you?
You can find me at Brian Von Doom on Twitter and as one live on Twitch. This weekend we'll be doing a charity stream for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There's loads of places doing them around the world. So
am I, and that's so weird.
Oh, really?
Well,
There
yeah,
you
so
go.
we'll be doing it for the following from Sunday onwards for the week on the 23rd of Abbott, right? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
23rd onwards for the week. There you go.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
I couldn't tell you. Go on.
Yeah, our stream will be on the 23rd.
There you go.
On the Saturday. We'll be doing live fighting game tournaments all day. There's probably be a bit of Tekken, a bit of Street Fighter, a bit of Guilty Gear, all that good stuff.
Fight.
Yes, Fight Man's games. So that's me.
What about you, Ado?
You can find me on Twitter at AODHAIN616, and I have nothing interesting happening this week.
Do you know? Okay, so just send you tweets and just ask you all sorts of mad
Please do.
questions.
I'll be tweeting about wrestling tonight after 1 o'clock.
Oh yes. Yeah, keep an eye on that as well. And if you have any kind of wild questions or anything like that, ladies and gentlemen, put into his head. You know where to find
I
him,
actually
so.
get all my wrestling news from Aiden in the morning now when I wake up.
Do you? So do I actually.
Check him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ah.
Reminiscing about everything. Yeah, it got really better. I was like, maybe I should get back into wrestling again. Like I've taken like 20 years. 20 years off.
AEW is no joke, as in the greatest form any wrestling company has ever been since I've been alive.
Oh, good then. Alright, well, I am Auntie Tinkerbell. You can find me on the internet if you look up Auntie Tinkerbell. I'm on your Twitters, your TikToks, everything else. But I'm actually live on Twitch. We mostly start driving by on the Fridays. If you want to join us for our Fridays Fridays, do some Burbo BBs. Join the club. More than welcome. And this week I'll be doing the Make-A-Wish as well towards the weekend. I'll be kicking off on Sunday and grinding that for a very good cause, which is Make-A-Wish. So if you can support, please drop by. All is welcome. All are welcome. And we'll have to see what happens the next week. And then after that, the following week is Doctor Strange and my birthday.
Thing is, the problem is, I don't think I'll be able to see Doctor Strange on Wednesday before the podcast.
Well, I will be in another country, so I definitely won't be.
I will be.
Another holiday, nice.
Only if you're allowed. Only if you're allowed. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Just make sure you hit the like. If you enjoyed anything else, put in some comments below. And the bell. You want to hit that subscribe button and that little bell to let you know when we're live next, because we will be live again, hopefully soon, next week. And if you don't, put in the L tweets, let us know. Have a nice one. Thanks for watching.
Good luck.